Question number 4 this week comes from Lee Campbell. And Lee says, I know you talk a lot about how you hope some of the future content captures the feeling of nostalgia from the classic trilogy. What did you think about? I always have a hard time pronouncing his name. Taika Waititi. Waititi's, I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. Comments about The Mandalorian and how it has a very real classic trilogy feel to it. I'm very excited about it personally. And when do you think we'll see the first Mandalorian footage? Would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for the question, Lee. And first off, that the guy they're talking about, the Taika, I don't even know how to say his name. The director of Thor Ragnarok. I'll just say that. The director of Thor Ragnarok is doing an episode of The Mandalorian, and he's directed, his episode so far, and he's come out and said that this is a very classic feeling Star Wars. This is capturing that feeling of classic Star Wars again. That comment just came out the other day, and when I read it, I about jumped over the moon. I'm so excited about The Mandalorian now. It's stupid. Believe it or not, out of all this new canon material coming out, 9 is probably my least anticipated piece of canon material, and I'm really looking forward to episode 9. I'm looking forward, like I said earlier, I'm looking forward to Master and Apprentice, Thrawn Treason. I'm really looking forward to Clone Wars Season 7, and I'm really looking forward to The Mandalorian. Let's get through those before we start talking about episode 9. I'm really stupidly excited for The Mandalorian. As far as when we're going to get the first first bit of footage, I'm going to say Celebration. Everybody at Celebration, in certain panels, is going to get to see possibly the full first episode. It's entirely possible. They used to do it with Rebels all the time. And then you'd have to wait for that same episode to air again. Or, I could be wrong, and they could keep the lid on it as long as they can. Odds are Celebration we're going to see... We're at least going to get a trailer. We're at least going to see a trailer at Celebration for The Mandalorian. As far as the first episode, there's probably going to be select few people who get to see it at Celebration. But I think this year's Celebration is going to be a huge celebration. Because like I said earlier, think about everything that they could potentially release. Obviously, a trailer for episode 9, title potentially. If they're releasing the trailer, we're getting the title. If they haven't done it already, we're going to get the title for 9. Jedi Fallen Order, The Mandalorian, Clone Wars Season 7, we'll probably get another trailer for that. There's so much. Novel announcements, comic announcements. It's going to be stupidly insane. Every single day is going to be Christmas during this celebration. Especially after the last celebration they had, where it kind of fizzled out. They ended the last celebration by bringing out Alden Ehrenreich. There's your new Han Solo. We knew that 3 months ago. So, and everybody thought we were getting that Obi-Wan movie announced. Never happened. Maybe we'll get some information on the next, Rian Johnson's trilogy or Benioff and Weiss's saga. Maybe we'll get some information on that. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just... odds are we won't. But, maybe a little bit of information about what time period they may take place in. I think once we get through episode 9, we'll start talking about that stuff. But I think this celebration is going to be a big one. So, it's going to be a big one. And I'm very, very, very excited for it. But as far as The Mandalorian goes, feeling classic again, that's what Star Wars needed to do from the get-go. I say it all the time. I think I said it last week. And it's the one thing that I keep going back to over and over again. And I've had people write me and tell me I don't think that would do anything. You would be surprised. Matte paintings. Just go back to matte paintings. I had to explain to my sister-in-law watching Empire Strikes Back. Or was it Return of the Jedi? Return of the Jedi for the first time. What a matte painting was. How they didn't always do CG backgrounds. It was a guy painted on a piece of glass. And they left the actual scene blank. And then they were able to lay it over the image. If you look at Return of the Jedi, when you look at these giant over-the-bay shots where all these stormtroopers lined up, if you look really close, you can tell they're painted. There's some in Return of the Jedi you can obviously tell are matte paintings. When Han and Lando are talking about the Falcon, and Han tells Lando to take the Falcon, I want you to take her. Really, she's the fastest ship in the fleet. When Lando turns around to walk towards the Falcon, that's a matte painting. You would be surprised how much of a classic feel that alone could give a series or a movie. And if I was ever tasked with doing a Star Wars movie, that would be one of the biggest things that I would focus on. I would focus on it. It wouldn't be one of the biggest things, but it would be one of the techniques that I would use. So I'm really excited about The Mandalorian, and I think it needs to feel classic, especially since it's coming off the heels of Return of the Jedi chronologically. it needs to feel classic. It really, really does. So, thanks for the question, and let me know. Are you guys excited for the Mandalorian? I am stupidly excited for the Mandalorian. Let me know. I want to hear your guys' thoughts.